Yep, it's actually has a callback support as well. Hello and welcome to our all-track. But why are we in all-track and why are we at the ferries? So beautiful setting here, and the reason why we're here is because we're gonna go pick up, well, see and pick up if it's indeed what it promises to be, a new development car. So is it a big mistake? Is it an awesome project? Well, I'm gonna make sure that if we do pick it up, it's an awesome project. So I just wanted to give you a little preview of our journey here, and I'm excited about it. If this thing is as good as it looks in the ad, it is really going to be an awesome project. And as soon as we get there, we'll show you guys a glimpse of what we're working with. But for now, have a look at BC Ferry. So we're gonna get on a boat here, and we're going to Vancouver Island because that's where this car is located. I think we see something peeking out. All right. There she is. Get out and check it out. Here she is, folks, in all her GC 1997 beauty. Yep, just got this and hopped onto the ferry, and you'll notice a couple of things that perhaps are not GC-like. Check out those calipers, and these calipers, and then there's a mess inside here. So it's got a JDM cluster that's not working. The thing is like a Christmas tree, got some STI seats, and if we pop the hood, you'll see the reason that we went all the way to pick this up. There you have it. It's a 2.5 EJ full STI swap. It's got the 6-speed from the STI, and it's got KW coilovers, and it needs a whole bunch of finishing work to get it running properly, get it tuned. Yep, it's actually has a callback support as well. This is gonna be a project for a little while. You guys will be seeing a lot more of this. And it's a raw, visceral car. It's surprising, crank down windows and everything. So you'll be seeing a lot more of this, but I just got it. And there's a bunch of parts in the trunk, there's a bunch of parts back there. Lots of content and lots of fun to be had. Happy to start building it. Welcome to the underside of a 1997 Impreza with a EJ255 out of an 06, STI, a bunch of rust, all the makings of a good project. So we picked this thing up, as you saw, and now we have to make it better. Well, first of all, make it run properly, and some of the first things that these bolts that are retained inside the chassis, so they're little welds that hold the nuts on the other side, they snap off, and we actually cut inside the car and had to put a bolt through on this one. However, once we moved over here, there's another fun guy that has also, it's stuck in there because the nut has come loose, and we need to somehow see if we can impact this thing out of there. Oh, a little fumigation happening. Okay. We wanted to step a little bit, I wanted to step a little bit outside of the comfort zone. And the comfort zone has always been dealing with primarily modern cars. There's a lot of good things about modern cars. You can just go straight to modding, straight to improving, straight to having fun. Old cars, however, you can definitely have a lot of fun. There's a lot of learning, there's a lot of feedback from these older cars, there's a lot of good things. But they come with a caveat of having problems. So before you even get to the having fun part, you've got to deal with the problems and with the particular sample that you've got. Now, here we have a 1997 Impreza with a 2006 STI swap. So what you're looking at here is a rebuilt, but not built bottom end, EJ255. So it's a 2.5 liter USDM motor. The wiring harness has been done by iWire so that the motor starts and runs. It's got the 6-speed from the STI, and that's where the good news ends. Well, maybe there's a little bit of good news is that the chassis is not completely rotted out, but there is a but. Of course, it's got problems. It looks like it's been sitting under a tree for a couple of years since the swap has been done, and no one could get it running. So now, what are the fundamentals of why it's not running? Well, one of them is that the cluster, so it came with a variety of clusters, and this cluster was installed in the car and it didn't work at all. The tach was not working, the speedo was not working, although it is a cable speedometer. And then this was another cluster. So I contacted the guys at iWire, and they were super helpful, and they told me these are JDM clusters. You can tell because the tachometer is on the right hand side, and the USDM cars have the tachometer on the left hand side, and the speedometer goes to 180 kilometers per hour. So the JDM clusters require a rewiring or repinning of the dash harness. Drove the car here from Victoria. You guys saw that. That's great. Kind of stumbled its way here because it doesn't do full boost. I think the fuel pump is still original, so we got to fix that. But the dash and the interior is where a whole bunch of fixing needs to happen. Pulled out the dash completely. The dash was kind of hardly hanging on there. I gotta fix the turn signals. They're not working. The headlights and the wipers are working, which is good. And it came with an access port, and actually the access port does read the car. So you know, the harness has been mostly done, but we're gonna get the second part of it done, and we're gonna get a DC controller for the 6-speed. The 6-speed feels nice and tight, but it's touching the chassis in the tunnel because the tunnel in this car was not designed for such a wide transmission. So we got to rework that a little bit. While we're under the car, of course, and I'm gonna pop it up here, realized that some of the captive nuts that were in the frame were breaking loose because this thing had sat long enough for that to happen. So this guy's got a broken nut. We gotta cut inside. We're gonna cut from the inside. And we're going to put a bolt back in, just like I did on here with a washer. Make sure I use lots of anti-seize on this stuff so it's never gonna rust again. So getting out of that comfort zone, fixing things before modifying. This is a car that we tuned so many of these EJs. It was really cool that it was in a lightweight, kind of small chassis with the GCs, and it's all part of the learning. It's all part of the excitement of getting something that wasn't running correctly, improving it, tuning it, and going from there. So there you have it. That's kind of the synopsis of where we're at. This car needs a whole bunch of stuff. It's going to get a whole bunch of stuff over time, and we'll take you guys on that journey. There's something very, very satisfying about fixing something with your hands with your own two hands, with coming up with solutions. And this is not gonna be a beauty queen. Goal is by next year we'll be ice racing this thing on some studs and enjoying it in the summer and some other time. So keep on following this build because I think that it's going to be enjoyable. It's going to be a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's start chipping away at some more.